Yes. Every year, the avoda of Tisha B'Av seems to present itself, and the avoda seems to change every year. But some years, it seems like the need for Tisha B'Av seems more bolate, more explicit. So, if you look at your OU Press Kinot, it's a fascinating story that Rabbi Luxstein tells in the foreword. He talks about in 1967, following the Six-Day War. He wanted to know what was going to be the state of affairs in Eretz Yisrael after Har Bayit B'Yadenu. The old city was captured by Tzal, the Jewish state, which had been so fearful what was going to be their future, facing threats on all sides. And then emerging from that war, so Rabbi Luxstein and his wife booked a ticket. They went to Israel to spend that first Tish'a B'Av in 1967. And he reflects on his experience in Israel that year. He said the feelings in the air were of joy, exhilaration, confidence, excitement, and redemption permeated the streets of Yerushalayim. And he says that he went to Rav Goren, the chief rabbi of IDF and eventual chief rabbi of Israel. He went to his shul to hear Eicha and Kinot in the nighttime at his shul. And he said that, the community sat there and begrudgingly they put up with Eicha, the nighttime. Then he describes that they started saying the Kinnot of the nighttime, and people just started leaving. They started walking in. They tolerated reading the words of Prophet Jeremiah from Yirmiyahu, but to read the Kinnot, it just didn't fit the tenor and the feeling of Eretz Yisrael in 1967. Rabbi Luxstein describes, you can read his story, his narrative in your introduction. He describes he felt it was inappropriate that people were leaving. He said then fast forward in 1968, Rav Soloveitchik got up to give a shiur, and he addressed this very question of halachically what happens when we have the state of Israel. There are lots of the questions. Do we change the language of the Girsa of Nachem to reflect having a state of Israel, sovereignty, Jewish homeland? Went through all the Rambams by Yesheni. There's a time in halacha where we had a Beis Hamikdash. There was a whole shaila. Do we still observe Tisha B'Av when we have a Beis Hamikdash? And leaving aside the halachic nature, I think we've dealt with it in the past. We'll talk about maybe in the future. But the Rav essentially gave a number of answers, explain why we still need to recite Eicha in 1967, why we still need to recite Kinnot in 1967. We have a state of Israel, we have Jewish sovereignty. And the second answer that's presented in your Kinnot was essentially that Eicha is a tefillah. It's a prayer. It's a prayer essentially that we shouldn't go back to the thousands of years of persecution. We shouldn't go back the thousands of years of horrors of Jewish history. There are a number of fascinating answers Rav Soloveitchik gives, but I was thinking about this answer that we're only 56 years later from 67. People in this room can remember 67, what it felt like to have the Jewish homeland in our hands. Just 56 years later, you read the news of this week. There was a poll in Times of Israel I saw that said, I'm not getting political because it's not my thing, but based on the initial judicial reform changes this past week, a poll said that 28% of the country is considering leaving Israel in reaction to not feeling safe. You just look at any news media from the state of Israel, and day after day, for months, the whole country has been on the brink of civil war. On the brink of civil war. I saw a quote this week in an article from former Justice Minister Ayelet Shaked, pleading for a compromise in the judicial overhaul. She told Channel 12 News, "This country is a miracle. Are we going to throw it all away on an argument over reasonableness?" And I started thinking about Soloveitchik's approach, which probably in 67 or 68, to the Baal Batim of 68, they said, the rabbi's just waxing poetic, halachically, or Jewish tefillah. We have sovereignty, Jewish homeland. We're good. This is it. This is what we've been waiting for thousands of years. Then I started thinking, wait a second, look, 56 years later, the Jewish state is on the brink of a civil war. And I hope I'm saying biguzma. I hope the quotes are overly dramatic. So the tefillah of Rosh Soloveitchik is very true, that we have to daven that the homeland that we have, the homeland that we want, the safety and security for Klal Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael should remain intact. But the truth is, it also reminds us 56 years later, what exactly is Galus and what is Geula? Galus and Geula was never about sovereignty. It was never a political sovereignty. That's not what Galus and Geula is about. So I want to share a fascinating Gemara. You're all familiar with the Gemara. Fascinating Mara. The Gemara in Yoma we've heard a million times. The Gemara in Yoma says, why was the first base of Mikdash destroyed? The Gemara says, it's hard because the Gimel Dvarim, the three capital crimes of Orazar, Gila, Raish, Shichas Damim, murder, idolatry, and adultery. And the Gemara goes on to say, what Mikdash Sheni? What about the second Mikdash? Shayoskim Torah. There they were learning Torah, mitzvos, mils chasadim, mecharav, sha'iseh bosinas. The Gemara says, and why did the second base Mikdash get destroyed? Because of baseless hatred. Baseless hatred. So the Maharal in Netzach Yisrael, the Maharal, one of his chalakim of Sifrei Maharal, is about Galus and Geula in the sefer called Netzach Yisrael. Jewish people, the eternity of the Jewish people. And there he asks, is this arbitrary? Bayis Rishon just happened to be, they were murderers, idolaters, adulterers. And Bayis Sheni, they were very learned, they learned a lot of Torah, but they hate each other's guts. Is it just arbitrary that these are the reasons why Chazal tell us the Beis Mikdash were destroyed? So the Maharal says a fascinating idea. The Maharal, I'm going to summarize it, it's late. The Maharal says, essentially, the Bayis Rishon had something that Bayis Sheni didn't have. The two temples were not exactly the same. The Mishnah tells us that certain things were missing in Bayis Sheni that existed in Bayis Rishon. One of those things the Mishnah tells us is Hashras Hashchina. The word Mishka means that there was literally the dwelling place of HaKadosh Baruch Hu was in the Beis Hamikdash. Hashras Hashchina, God's presence was only there, was only felt in Bayis Rishon. And the Maharal explains that essentially these three Gimel Averos Chamuros, the three big capital crimes, they bring with it, because of their severity, bring with it a certain tumah, and because of their tumah, they drove away Hashras Hashchina. People were so corrupt, murderers, adulterers, that essentially HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Hashras Hashchina, the idea you come to the Beis Hamikdash and feel God's presence, it wasn't there. Maybe you feel something. But the Hashras Hashchina wasn't there according to Chazal. By Bayis Sheni, so the question was, what zechus did Klal Yisrael have to have a Beis Hamikdash Bayis Sheni if the Shechina left? So the Maharal explains. The Maharal says, Malas Migdash Sheni Hayamachmas Yisrael Atzma. In Bayis Sheni, the second temple, there was no Shechina. So what zechus the Jewish people have to have a temple? He said the zechus was the Jewish people themselves. The Davers of Barur, Yisrael heim misachdim aydei Beis Hamikdash hayolav. The Beis Hamikdash unified the people. Kohen echad, mizbeach echad, nasru bamos, shelo haya pir v'chiluk b'Yisrael. So Maharal explains that essentially by Yesheni, which didn't have the God's presence felt, you couldn't feel that ruchnius, the divine presence of God. The zechus that allowed the Beis Hamikdash to be rebuilt, and by Yesheni was Achdus and Klal Yisrael. And the Beis Hamikdash was ma'ached Klal Yisrael. It brought everyone together. Because no matter your politics, no matter your hashkafa, no matter what you thought about the Mets or the Yankees or whatever things you debate, there's one coin, there's one avoda. It didn't matter what kippah you wore, what color shirt you wore, nothing mattered. It's one Beis Hamikdash, and it was ma'ached Klal Yisrael. It brought the Jewish people together. So Maharal says, why does the Gemara say, the end of the Gemara, the most important line of the Gemara is drawing a comparison between the three Gimel Chamuros, Averos Chamuros, and Sinas Chinam. Lamedcha Shishkula Sinas Chinam Keneged Shalosh Averos. The Gemara concludes that trying to draw a parallel, that Sinas Chinam, baseless hatred, is just as bad as the big three. How could it be? How could Sinas Chinam have the same impact of the Gimel Chamuros, murderers, idolaters? You would think they're much worse than Sinas. The Maharal essentially says the whole foundation of Bayesheni was built on Achdus and Klal Yisrael. If you have Sinas Chinam, you don't have Achdus. And if you have Sinas Chinam, you have baseless hatred for each other. So the whole Yesod falls apart. The whole Migdash falls apart. Maharal goes on to say that by Bayis Rishon, because there's Hashra Shechina, the Yitzhahara, to try to combat the Kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash, was trying to break down man, Adam, to get him to become corrupt. Whereas Bayesheni didn't have Hashra Shechina. So the Yitzhahara doesn't have to be as strong, because there's always an equal weight. For all the good there is in the world, there's going to be equal challenge and bad. So by Yesheni, where there wasn't Hashras Hashchina, the Yitzhahara is not going to be as strong. It doesn't try to destroy man, but it tries to destroy society. The Yitzhahara comes to say, let's make society corrupt. Let's make pirud and machlokas and culture and society. Everyone hates each other. They can't stand each other. No one wants to talk to each other. And that was the Yitzhahara, and that was the Sinas Chinam. That's why I don't know about Yesheni. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still without a Beis Hamikdash. If we were trying to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash, it would help us understand, well, what's the reason why the last Beis Hamikdash that we're still waiting to be rebuilt, why isn't it here? The Maharal says, Shuto Kamashmo, because it's Sinas Chinam. It's because as a Jewish people, we have no Achdus. We can't stand each other. Because we don't have real deep love. Real Avas China. Then we see someone, even if we disagree with them, even if we don't have the same views on politics, hashkafa, whatever it is, we still have to love them. We still have to have space in our hearts to love every single Jew. If we can't work on our Ahavas Chinam, so then we'll just be here year after year after year. So we read the news, and the news is depressing. Always depressing. But especially now to see months of fighting in Eretz Yisrael, months of not getting along, seeing anger in people's eyes. People can't look at each other, can't talk to each other. So it feels like it's a country far away, and that's a bigger task for people bigger than you and I. But the truth is, the same pirud and the same sinas chinam that exists there, we have it here. Maybe we can't so easily change the landscape of Eretz Yisrael. Maybe we can't easily change what happens in politics, but we can change. We can work on our own avos. We can work on our own sense of when we see someone, give them a smile, say Shalom Aleichem, how are you? Doesn't matter what they believe in, what they invest their time in. It doesn't matter. For your brother, your sister, say Shalom Aleichem. How you doing? Show them you care, offer your presence. Avas Chinot. That's how we're going to get out of this. So we should be zocha for the next 24 hours to reflect. There was a time 56 years ago we weren't sure if we needed Tisha B'Av anymore. If we're being really honest with ourselves, I don't think anyone would leave at this point saying we don't need Tisha. Today's country, today's climate, today's Avira. We all need Tisha B'Av. We need Tisha B'Av. We all need Tisha B'Av. Let's use this 24 hours to try to reflect. How each and every one of us can work and trying to see the best in each other, trying to see past whatever disagreements we have, to make space for each other, to love each other, to have avas chinam. I'm going to conclude with a bracha, a tefillah, that Rav Rimon, the great tzaddik Rav Rimon Eretz Yisrael, wrote a prayer for unity that was sent, I don't know, Mizrahi sent it out to, I'm sure, many Jews. Maybe you got this in your email, but as a rabbi, I actually opened it. I'm going to say the prayer. I'll read two prayers, one from Rav Elimelech Lezhansk and one from Rav Rimon. They're both beautiful. Yishaberach Avosinu Rav Yitzchak v'Yaakov u'yivarach yishmor kol echad v'achas me'am Yisrael. Yitem libeinu lahadit v'ayin tova al hakol. Yitem banu ava gedola al kol echad v'achas Yisrael. V'nizke la'achdus esaner l'geula shlem v'kar v'yaminu v'nomar amen. He will bless our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, bless and safeguard every man and woman in Am Yisrael, and place in their hearts the capacity to see everything with a good eye, and fill us with great love for every Jew. May we merit strong unity and complete salvation soon in our days. We'll say Amen. This is Rav Elimelech Lezhansk. He didn't send a translation, but it's also beautiful. Adarabba, Teim libenu shenira kol echa milos kaveru kavereinu below chasronam. Let us see the good qualities in our friends and not their lackings. We should speak their friends in a straight way, in ways of appeasement. We should not harbor any hatred on our friend. And strengthen us with love towards you. You who know everything is revealed to you, that everything should give you nachas ruach. So may it be that the avoda we do in the next 24 hours should bring nachas ruach to the borei. They should see that we're trying our best to create achdus, to work on achdus, to work on avas chinam, to hopefully end the galus b'mhira b'yom. Begin with Eicha, and I'm using the Horen Maxer on page 35. You can follow on wherever Maxer uses. Eicha Yashva Vada Hayir Rabasiyam Hayisa Kyamana Rabasi Vagoyi Sarasi Bamdinos Haisa Lama Bachosiv Kabalai Bidimasa Lechaya Ilaminache Mikohabeha Korea Bagduba Hayula Leoyevi Galsa Yuda Meoni Merov Aboda Yashva Vagoyim Lomata Manoah Korofah Hisigu Ben Abitzari Darchei Tzion Avela Mibeli Ba'imoed Kol Shiareha Shomemi Kohaneh Nehanachim B'Siloseh Nugos V'Himarla Hayut Zareh L'Rai Shoveh Shalom Ki Adonai Ogar Sha'eha Olaleha Ha'choshevi Lifnei Tzar Hayetze Mimasiya Kol Hadara Hayut Zareh Ki Hayalim Lo Matu Mireh Hayalchu V'lo Chawach Lifnei Rodeh Zachra Yerushalayim Yemei Anya Merudeha Kama Chamudeha Asher Yom Mekadem Binfal Ama Biatza V'yein Ozer La Ra'u Atzarim Sachaku Al Mishpatem Chet Chata Yerushalayim Al Kein Lenida Hayasa Homechabedea Izilua Kiro Erbasa Gaminencha Vatashovacho Tumasa Bishule Lo Zafra Achrisa Vatiret Elohim Emenachem La Re Adonai Yasani Higdil Oye Yada Parasar Kol Machamadeha Kirasa Goyim B'Mikdasha Asher Tivisa Lo Yavo V'Hakala Kol Hamon Enachim Mevakshim Lechem Nasnu Machamadehem V'Yochel Hashiv Nofesh Re Adonai V'Avita Ki Hayisi Zoklela Lo Aleichem Ovrei Derech Habitu Uru Im Yesh Machov Gemachovi Asher Olali Asher Hoga Adonai B'Yom Charapa Bimarom Shalach Eish Batzmosai V'Yirdana Parash Reshes Raglai Yeshivani Achor Nisanani Shomema Kol Hayom Da'ava Yizkar O Bishai B'Yado Yistargo Alu Al Tabarich Shilkochi Nisanani Adonai B'Dei Lo Ufaku Sila Chol Abirai Adonai B'Kirbi Kara Alai Moed Ishmar Bachurai Gas Tarach Adonai Ibsuras Bas Yehuda Aleile Ani Bochia Heini Hardamai Kirachak Mimani Menachem Meshiv Nafshi Hayu Banai Shomemim Higavar Hoye Hersatiyam B'Yadeh Ei Menachem La Tziva Adonai Liakos Sivot Zarav Hayisa Yerushalayim Lenida B'neihem Tzadiku Adonai Kivi Marisi Shimuna Chol Hami Uru Machovi V'Sulosai V'Achurai Al Bashevi Harasi L'Ma'avai Marimuni Konayus Kenai V'Yirgavau Kivikshu Ochel Amo V'Yashivu Es Nafsham Re Adonai ki tzar li me'ai chamar maru Nepach libi v'kirbi Ki maru marisi Chushik lachareb is kamaves. Shamo ki nenacha. Ey menachemi kolayevai. Shamura sisasu yata sisa. Facing on Harasa Bihamo. Tavo Horasam Fanecha Be'olelamo. Kasher Ola Alta. Li Akob Shai. Rabo San Chosai. Billy Dava.
Eicha Yoiv Bapo Adonai Espasio Hishlich Michamayim Eretz Tiferes Yisrael Lo Zachar Hadom Raglo Biyom Apo Bila Adonai Velo Chama Eis Konos Yaakov Horas Be'ebraso Tzivas Yehuda Higia La'aretz Hillel Mamlacha B'Yisrael Goda B'Choria Kol Keren Yisrael Hishiva Chor Yemino Mipnei Oyev Vayiv'ar B'Yaakov Keish Lehava Achilas Aviv Darach Hashto Oyev Yitzhak Yemino Ketzar Vayarog Kol Nachamatei Ayin Yoel Bas Tzion Shofach To'esh Chamaso Haya Adonai Oyev Ilai Yisrael Pila Kol Armenosah Shiches Mitzara Vayerev Bivas Yehuda Tanya Vania Vechmos Kagan Suko Shiches Moado Shikach Adonai B'tzion Moed V'Shabbos Vayinat V'zam Apo Melech V'choen Zonach Adonai Mizbechoni Mikdasho Hisgir B'yad Oyev Chomos Armnosa Kol Nasnu B'Beis Adonai Kiyom Moed Choshav Adonai Lahashchis Chomas Bas Tzion Natakav Lo Hishiv Yado Mipaleha Ve'avel Chel V'choma Yaktav Umlalu Tavu Va'aretz Shara Ibad V'Shibar B'Richa Malkah V'Sara V'Goyim In Torah Gan Neviel U'Matzu Chazon Me'Adonai Yeshavu La'aretz Yidemu Ziknei Vas Tzion Helu Avar Al Rosham Chagiru Sakim Horidu La'aretz Roshan Besulos Yerushalayim Kalu Vadimos Einai Chomar Merumei Nishbach La'aretz Kvedi Al Shever Bas Ami Be'otep Olel V'Yonei Berchovos Kirya Li'imosam Yomeru Aye Dagon V'Yoyim Pisatefam Kechalal Berchovos Ir Pishtapech Nasha El Chei Imosam Ma'idech Ma'adamela Habas Yerushalayim מה אשווה לך ואנחמך בסולס בסציון. כי גדול קיים שברך מירפא לך. נביאי חזו לך שב וספל. ולא גילו על עוונך להשיב ושבוסך. ויחזו לך מסעות שוב ומדוכים. ספקו עלייך כפיים כל עוברי דרך. שרקו ויניעו ראשם על פס ירושלים. הזאת העיר שיאמרו כלילת יופי משוש לכל הארץ. הוצאו עלייך פיהם כל אויבייך. שרקו ויחרקו שם אמרו אילנו. אך זה היום שקיווינו מצאנו ראינו. עשה אדוני אשר צמח. יצא אמרסו אשר ציווה מימי קדם. הורס ולא חמל. וישמח עלייך אויב. הרים קרן צרייך. צעק ליבם אל אדוני. חומס בציון. הורידי חנחל דמעה יומם ולילה. אל תתני פוגס לך, אל תדום פס עינך. קומי רוני בלילה. בראש אשמרוס שבחי חמיים ליבך נוכח פני אדוני. שאי אליו כפיים על נפש עוללייך עטופים ברעב בראש כל חוצות. ראה אדוני והפיתה למי הובלת כה. אם תאכלנה נשים בריון ובלי טיפוחים, אם יראה במקדש אדוני כהן ונביא. שכבו לארץ חוצות נער וזקן, וסולותיי ובחוריי נפלו בחרב. הרגת ביום הפחד, טבחת לא חמלת. תקרא כי יום מועד מגוריי מסביב, ולא היה ביום אף אדוני פליט בשרי. אשר טיפחתי בריביסי הימי חילה.
אני הגבר רעוני בשבט עברתו, אותי נהג ויולך חושך ולא אור, אך בי ישוב יהפוך ידו כל היום. בלא בשרי ועורי שיבר עצמותי, בנו עלי ויקף ראש ותלאה, במחשכים הושיבני כמתי עולם. גדר בעדי ולא אצא הכביד נחושתי, גם כי אזעק ואשבע סותם תפילתי. גדר דרכי בגזית נתיבותי עיבה, דוב עורב הוא לי ארי במסתרים. דרכי סורר ויפשחני סומני שומם, דרך קשתו ויציבני כמטרה לחץ. הביא וכליותיי בני אשפתו, הייתי שחוק לכל עמי נגינתם כל היום, השביעני במרורים, הרבני לענב, ויגרס בחצץ שיני, הכפישני באפר, ותזנח משלום נפשי, נשיתי טובה, ואומר עבד נצחי, ותאכלתי מאדוני. זכור עוני ומודי לענב הראש, זכור תזכור ותשלח עלי נפשי, זאת אשיב אל ליבי, על כן אוכיל. חסדי אדוני כי לא תמנו, כי לא חלו רחמיו, חדשים לבקרים רבה אמונתך, חלקי אדוני אמרה נפשי, על כן אוכיל לו. טוב אדוני לקובב לנפש תדרשנו, טוב ויכיל בדומם לתשועת אדוני, טוב לגבר כי יישאו בנעוריו, ישב בדד וידום כי נטל עליו, ייתן בעפר פיהו אולי יש תקווה, ייתן ממכהו לחי ישבע בחרפה, כי לא יזנח לעולם אדוני, כי אם הוגה בריחם קרוב חסדיו, כי לא עינה מלבו ויגע בני איש, לדכא תחת רגליו כל אסירי ארץ, להטות משפט גבר נגד פני עליון, לעוות אדם בריבו, אדוני לא ראה. מזה אמר ותהי אדוני לא ציווה, מפי עליון לא תצא הרעות והטוב, מה יתאונן אדם חי, גבר על חטאיו. נחפשה דרכינו ונחקורה, ונשובה עד אדוני, נישא לבבינו אל כפיים, אל בשמיים. אנחנו פשענו ומרינו, אתה לא סלחת. סקות ואף ותרדפנו, הרגת לא חמלת. סקות וענן לך מעבור תפילה, שיחי ומאוס תשימנו בקרב העמים. פצו עלינו פיהם כל אויבינו, פחד ופחד היה לנו, השט והשבר. על גמיים תרד עיני, על שבר בת עמי. עיני נגרה ולא תדמה מעין הפוגות, עד ישקיף וירא אדוני משמיים. עיני עוללה לנפשי מכל בנות עירי. צודו צדוני כציפור אויבי חינם, צמתו בבור חיי וידו אבן בי, צפו מים על ראשי אמרתי נגזרתי. קראתי שמך אדוני מבור תחתיות, קולי שמעת אל תעלם אוזנך לרווחתי לשבעתי. קרבת ביומך רעך אמרת אל תירא. רבת אדוני ריבי נפשי גאלת חיי, ראית אדוני עבדתי שפטת משפטי, ראית כל נקמתם כל מחשבותם לי. שמעת חרפתם אדוני כל מחשבותם עלי, שפתי קמי והגיונם עלי כל היום. שבטם לקיימתם הביתה, אני מנגינותם. תשיב להם גמול אדוני כמעשה ידיהם, תיתן להם מגינת לב תעלתך להם. תרדוף באף ותשמידם מתחת שמי אדוני.
יחויו עם זהב, ישנה הקסם הטוב, תשתפך לאבני קודש, בראש כל חוצות. בני ציון היקרים, Sulaim Bapam Eicha Nechshivu Liniblecheres Maaseh Yedei Yotzer Gam Tanim Chaletzu Shad Heini Kugurehem Das Ami Le'achzar Kayeni Bamidbar Dovak Lishon Yonei El Chiko Batzamo Olalim Sha'alu Lechem Hooray, Zain Lahem Hochilim Lema'adanim Noshamu Bachutzos Hoemonim Alei Solah Chibiku Ashpatos Vayigdal Avon Bas Ami Bechatas Sidom Hahafucha Chimoraga Velo Chaluva Yadayim Zakun Zireha Mishelem Tzachu Mechala Ademu Etzem Mipenim Sapir Gizrasam Choshav Mishchor Toram Lo Nikiru Bachutzo Sofar Oram Al Atzmam Yovei Shayacha Eitz Toim Hayu Chalelei Cherev Mechalelei Ra'av Sheheim Yozuvu Midukarim Mitnuos Sodai Yidei Noshim Rachamaniyo Bishilu Yaldehem Hayu Lilaros Lamo Bishever Bas Ami Killa Adonai Eschamoso Shofar Charonato Vayatzes Eish B'Tzion Vatochal Yesodosecho Lo Heminu Melchei Eretz Kol Yoshevei Sevel Ki Yavo Tzar V'Oyev V'Sharei Yerushalayim Mechatos Neviyeha Avonos Kohaneha Hashofechim B'Kirba Dam Tzadikim No'u Ivrim Bachutzos Negalo Badam Below Yuchilu Yigi'u Bilvoshehem Suru Tamei Kore'u Lamo Suru Al Tiga'u Kinotsu Gamna'u Amiru Vagoyim Lo Yosifu Lagur Pnei Adonai chilekam, lo yosif lehavlitam. Pnei Chohanim lo nasau, uzkenim lo chananu. Odeinu techlena eineinu, el Ezra seinu havel. V'tzipiyah seinu tzipinu, el goyim lo Yoshia. Tzadu tze'adeinu, nilach birchoseinu. Korah v'kitzeinu, Malavu yameinu, kiva kitzeinu. Kalim hayu rodefeinu, min nishrei shamayim, al heharim delakonu, bamidbar arevulanu. Ruach Apeinu Mashiach Adonai Nilkan B'Shechisosav Asher Amarnu V'tzin Lo Nifye V'Goyim Sisi V'Simchi Basedom Yosheves B'Eretz Prutz Gam Olayir Ta'avor Kos Tishkiri V'Sisari Tam Avonei Rebatzion Lo Yosif Lehaglosei Pokad Avonei Rebasedom Gila
Alachatosayim, Zikar Adonai Mechayelanu, Habita Ve'yester Chaseinu, Nachlaseinu, Necha Avizarim, Koteinu V'nafrim, Yisomim Hayinu, V'yeinav, Imoseinu, K'almanav, Memeinu, V'chesed Shasinu, Eitzeinu, V'chiryavanu, Al Tzavoreinu, Yidafnu, Yaganu, V'lo Nachlanu, Mitzrayim Nasa'anu Yad Ashur Yisbo Alachem Aboseinu Chatu V'einam V'anachnu Avonoseinem Savalenu Avodim Ma'ashenu Manu Horei Ein Yadam B'nafsheinu Navi Nachmeinu Mipnei Cherem Hamidbar Horeinu Kisanu Nichmaru Mipnei Zalapos Ra Nashim B'Tzioninu B'Sulos B'Arei Yehuda Sarim B'Yadam Yisrael B'nei Zikenim Lo Nedanu Bachurim Techon Nasau Unarim Bait Kashav Zirkenim Mishar Shavazu Bachurim Minei Nasam Shavas Misos Tiveinu Nechach Li'ever Micholeinu Nafila Ateres Rosheinu Oyenalanu Yichatanu Alzeh Hayadaven Tiveinu Aleilech Hashach Reineinu Al Har Tzion Sheshamein Shualim Yechuva Ata Adonai Liolam Teshev Tisacha Letar Vadar Lama Lanetzach Tishkacheinu Tazveinu Liorech Kamim Hashiveinu Adonai Elecha V'nashuva Kadesh Yameinu K'nekadem Ki Imamos Me'astanu Chatzavta Oleinu Amiyah Kadesh Yameinu
Zechar Adonai mehayavanu v'toreh berkoteh Hashiveinu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Kadesh Yameinu K'kedem Leil Zeh Yikayun Yivana Leil Zeh Rovei Koshim Nisrifan Kiza Yom Asher Amar Adonai B'Leil Ze Yivkayun Yelilu Vanai Shamiron Kol Titein Mitzavni Avonai Eretz Kadesh Yameinu Kinei Adonai K'namecha Bonei Yerushalayim Adonai Adonai B'chiyah B'tziyah Yerushalayim Tirachim Tzion V'tivnei Chomos Yerushalayim V'chiyah B'tziyah V'tzpei Yerushalayim Tirachim Tzion V'tivnei Chomos Rachim Tzion kasher amarta, kasher Akasua yad neviyecha, lachem komar Adonai, shavti l'Yerushalayim berachamim, beiti baneva, Nom Adonai tzvaot, kav yinateh, al Yerushalayim, v'ne'emaro, kiravim, Adonai tzvaot. Otifutsen arav mito, v'nicham Adonai odes Tzion, uvacharo b'Yerushalayim, v'ne'emar ki nicham Adonai Tzion, nicham kol charoseha, yasem midabera keiden, v'arvasa kigan Adonai, sason v'simcha yematzeva, toda v'kol zimra.
קדוש, 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 אדוני
סני רוח ושמע חרש גדול.
ברוך כבוד
שניים לא כולם ועד. ויפתחו בך ידי שמך כי לא אתה חדשך אדוני אדוני חפץ למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר תודה וקדש שמי רבה ועמד יחלתי ומכמורתי באחון ומכון ובחית גופת ישראל בגלות מקריב אמרו אמן תתברך ושתבח תתפעל תבוא ותנסה ותדע ותהלל תושם תשעה בריחו ואלו כל ברכתה ושבתה תשפחתה ונמתה תמרה נאמם אמרו אמן יש למרד נשמה רווחה מלאנו כל ישראל אמרו אמן ועושה שם אמרת ושם עלינו וכל ישראל אמרו אמן זה נאמר בחיי אדוני ומלך הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה נהר לשמו אחד יתגדל וקדש שמי רבה ועמד יבחרתי במלך מלכותי ביכון ומכון ובחי בית ישראל בגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר תבוא ויתנשא ויתהלל ויתהלל קודשו ותשעה בריחו אלו מכל ברכתה ושרתה תשפחתה ונהנתה תמרד בימה ואמרו אמן ויש למרד משמיים וחר מלאנו כל ישראל ואמרו אמן ועושה שם אמרת ושם עלינו בכל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
We're scheduled for the remainder of Tisha B'Av Shabbos tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. The 8:30 meeting will include explanations of Kinnot. Chatzos tomorrow is 1:02. There's going to be early mincha at 1:40. Shir here by Dr. Rubenson at 6:15. Another mincha at 7:45. And Mar at 8:30. That ends at 9 o'clock, and then we'll have Tisha B'Av back at 45. Immediately now there'll be a kumzitz here. If you're not staying for the kumzitz, please leave quietly.
B'Av.